What's up, guys?
Hi, we're here and almost drunk.
Almost drunk after some tequila, and we're about to dig into some wine we've been saving just for this episode.
Mm-hmm.
Why have we been saving it just for this episode?
Because it's important. I think you bought this when we started recording season 1.
Yes.
It's Gary V's wine, so.
Empathy. It's so good. It's really good wine.
We drank this our first season, too. Or our first episode, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's good stuff. It's good stuff.
Dang.
But,
It's
yeah.
aged wine. It's like 3 months for us. That's important.
Yeah, 3 months aged.
Usually doesn't last that long.
Some good wine, though, for sure. And
Yeah.
you got some fancy glasses that you got me for my birthday.
Yes, let's cheers.
Cheers to the season finale,
Season
episode
finale.
25. And, yeah.
You have to sip after you cheers.
Sorry. I was distracted.
Ooh, this is good.
Oh, yeah, I forgot how good that was. Okay.
After the tequila, that's really good.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, it's a great chaser.
It is. It's easier.
So, we want to thank everyone.
Yeah, thank you. If you've
Sincerely.
listened to even half an episode, thank you.
Yeah, even 5 minutes of an episode, you've at least
Yeah.
taken the time to look at what we've been working on. And we're happy that we've came this far, 25 episodes in. We started back in like February.
January.
We started, yeah.
Well, we
January.
were recording in February.
Yeah, so it's came to fruition. We've got like over 500 downloads already.
Wow, that's so exciting.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
It's been a fun run. It's been nice
Yeah.
to like have this every week to just like sit down and just like talk about things and just keep us accountable and, you know, give us a chance to freely be ourselves and let our friends listen.
Yeah, for sure.
It's been nice.
It's been like a really like huge experience for me, and like I feel like I've grown in being able to like talk about things, and it's really great. I'm so excited for season 2 and to like share this feeling with other people, you know, like our friends that have been listening, and if people have anything that they want to come on here and talk about, like that's what I think this platform is for. And I'm like so excited for season 2. Like I think it's going to be like everything we're doing here, we're just going to expand it by bringing other people on. And yeah, I think like we have some good things in store. We're going to take, like we said this last week in like our past episodes too, that we're going to take like a 2-month break. We'll probably be back in September and just kind of realign and get a few episodes recorded and kind of figure out what the next like 25 episodes or whatever it's going to be is going to be about. So
Yeah, I think it's going to be good too, taking the break that we're going to take. This was originally your idea, but this gives us a chance to recollect, take a look at like what worked, what didn't work, come back in. We're going to probably redesign like most of the podcasts, like logos, all that stuff. Figure out if there's other ways that we can maybe potentially get on like TikTok or market ourselves on like Instagram. We're going to try all different kinds of things and just kind of roll with it. So
yeah,
just having the ability to start bringing on a third guest and maybe getting like a workspace to like have as our own office that we can start shooting at. It's going to be really nice.
Yeah, that'll be so cool to
Yeah.
just have like a space that's like ours already.
Yeah.
So it'll be good, and I'll be moved by then.
Oh yeah. Moving
Going
to Tampa.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think
Yeah.
a month after that, I'm going to be moving somewhere in St. Pete.
Yeah, so when we start, you'll probably be moving too. So
Yeah.
big transitions happening. I think everyone's feeling that energy right now, that things are just moving so fast lately. So
Everything's
good
being
things.
shaken up for everyone, but it's turning out to be good for sure.
So we did like a poll on our Instagram last night to try to get like, not a poll, but like questions for today's episode. And Steven really encouraged me to do it, because at first I was like, no, we're not going to get any questions. Like, I don't want to do this. But I think it turned out really well. Like, I got like 12 or something, which is cool. Like, definitely more than I expected. I was like,
Yeah,
what if we only get 2?
We got a solid amount of questions. It's definitely
Yeah.
enough to work with for sure.
So we're just going to go through like some fun ones and some serious ones, and
we'll keep it straight and to the point, but we'll get the questions answered for sure.
yeah.
So
This should be fun.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll take a nice chug of wine.
I know we finished. Oh, we didn't finish the tequila.
No, we didn't.
We have tequila.
We have tequila, but I was like, I don't want it in the shot for you two.
Yeah, so we both have about a little over a shot left.
Oh, okay, I'll take it.
So we're gonna drink some tequila. Yeah.
Oh.
Yep, and it's gone.
Absolutely disgusting. I hate tequila.
It's actually
Steven
a
has
really
wa-
good
like-
tequila.
It's delicious, yes. But like for tequila, it's very good. But tequila makes me a different person. So I just Steven's like, yeah, I don't
I've
know
seen
why.
it at least once.
I'm like two people in one body. It's really weird.
Yeah.
My Gemini moon is just like, I am a psychopath. I will kill you. Yeah, it's like real.
I'm not going to disagree with you.
Yeah, no, I just feel like I can't, if I drink too much of it, it's like an alter ego comes out and she's really scary and I like black out. So anyway, don't drink tequila.
Yeah. So we got our tequila down. We got some wine ready.
Maybe the wine will balance me out.
And we're going to start answering some questions for the Q&A. So I know you said you wanted to ask one of your questions first.
Yes, I got a good one about the podcast. So I was like, ooh, we should start with that.
Okay.
Let me find it. Where is it? Okay. So we got advice for someone wanting to start a podcast.
Okay.
Which is cool because I think in our second season we should just do an episode on this because since we're still pretty new to it, we can give like advice of just what we do on a weekly basis.
Yeah.
What would your advice be?
So in the beginning, when we were both sitting down at a bar one night and we were talking about this, I think the biggest complications and the thing that seemed like it was intimidating is trying to figure out like all the logistics of like, you know, how to host, how to get like the equipment, how to record it. But if you take each step into account and then you just like slowly break each of those steps down, it's really, really easy.
Right.
Like it was so simple. It was just a matter of time of just like learning how to like do each simple step, but there's really nothing complicated about it at all once you get like a routine and a rhythm. And like we mix video into our podcast, so that makes things like twice as complicated as it is, but it's still not even complicated at all. It's just matching up like audio and video. But other than that, like finding a host, recording your audio, getting a microphone, it's so easy. So like just don't overthink it. Don't think that what you're trying to do is too complicated. There's a million guides on the internet. It's so simple. Just start and just do one step at a time. That's it.
And that was going to be my advice is just time management. Like we started talking about the podcast in early January and by mid-March we launched. So give yourself enough time, like plan a date like 3 months out and every week just commit to meeting like once or twice a week to dedicating some time to figuring it out. If it's recording like episodes or figuring out like, you know, the back end, like technical part of recording or whatever it is. Like, I feel like we did a lot of things. Like everything we've done, we haven't hired one person to do. Let's just say that. Like everything, pretty much like Steven's done a lot of it. Let's just say it. Like he puts like the video and audio together. Like I'm not going to be here. Like I do a lot of work. Like I don't. Like I have the camera. And
you have the camera. We both have laptops. We both have photography experience. We both have Photoshop experience. I had the video editing programs. I've had video editing experience. And it was very simple because we had all these things. We didn't have to go out and invest like $2,000 in a laptop or $2,000 in a camera.
Right.
But like it's a very low entry thing. It's very simple. Just like Kristina said, just give yourself time. And also to like make sure you've got a few episodes ready to launch by the day you launch. Don't just launch one episode because if like there's been weeks with me and Kristina, we can't do anything like because I'm too busy with work or she's too busy with work and we can't record. So if we had a backup episode or 2 episodes recorded, it would take that pressure off.
Right.
So.
And for the most part, like we started with 4 episodes and we launched with all 4 of those. So like definitely have things like pre-recorded, but also like have maybe 1 or 2 episodes as backup.
Yeah.
That's what we're going to try to do.
At all time.
Yeah. Because like if you're because that's kind of how the season went is that we've always recorded like the week that we post. So like even if you're just 1 week ahead, that kind of gives you a cushion just in case shit happens. So anyway, just kind of plan ahead and just manage it where you tackle one thing at a time. Like if you need to get mics, like do that 1 week and then, you know, brainstorm like topic ideas the second week and then get people, you know, start contacting people you want to have on your podcast. Like, you know what I mean? Just break it down so it doesn't seem like this overwhelming thing. Yeah. So time management with a podcast is really like one of the biggest things because everybody can do it. You don't have to have a fancy mic. Like these, like my mic costs $50. Like,
Same.
Yeah. Like,
Yeah.
and they sound better than a lot of people we've listened to.
We've listened to podcasts where people have like $300, $400, $500 mic setups, and we're like, we sound better than those people.
For sure.
Yeah. Just look at reviews and just do your research, give yourself enough time, and then when you're ready, you launch it. Just make sure you've done your research. Just don't put yourself into a wall where you're expected to do something if you haven't given yourself enough time.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much it.
And like, if anyone has any other questions about this, reach out to us.
Yeah, we'll answer it for you.
Yeah, technical side, ask Steven, but me, I'm just here for support.
Yeah, it works well.
That's great. Okay, do you have one?
Yeah, I've got a really funny question for you to lighten the mood.
For me?
To lighten the mood.
Why just me?
I'll answer it too, but
okay, great.
So they're not all this funny. We're going to get into some deep stuff.
Oh, yeah. Also, side note, we didn't share our questions with each other.
Yeah.
We're just talking about them as we talk here.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Okay, so lightening the mood. We're going to have some fun with this. Some of these are deep. Some of these are funny. But to start out, Kristina, would you rather fart every time you come or come every time you fart?
I fucking hate this question. Whoever asked this, it's so stupid. Like, are you 14?
He's going to be on our show at some point.
Oh my God.
It's a solid question.
So dumb.
But it's a serious question, though. Like,
what? Wait. I didn't even listen because I just hate this. Go ahead. What is it?
So, would you rather would you rather fart every time you come, or would you rather come every time you fart?
Probably the second option.
I had a feeling.
Why?
Because you always talk about how guys can never make you come.
Yeah, because I'm just like, yeah, I'd rather just come all the time.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Okay.
That's
awful.
answered
then.
That is terrible. Whoever asked that, I'm going to give you shit once you're on this podcast. When you told me that, I was like, really? He texted me. He's like, you're not going to really like the questions. I'm like, okay, whatever. Anyway, I guess I'll ask one of my...
Fire away. Let's go.
Wait, you didn't even ask it. Or you didn't answer it.
Okay,
would
so
you agree?
I would probably rather fart every time I come and just let the person know that I'm with... say, hey,
like I didn't even let myself really think of this. I hate it.
Yeah. Okay. Because like I don't know, like I feel like I'd be so drained if every time I farted I came. So I'd rather just be the opposite way and just let someone know. By the way, I'm probably gonna fart every time I come. Anyways, we're answering questions.
That is so awful.
We're answering questions.
We're answering this.
Yeah.
I didn't really take into account all of the options. This is a good one. Who can hold their breath the longest?
Should we figure this out? Okay.
This is so annoying to do on a podcast because people aren't going to know.
It's okay. All right. So, Let's
just do 30 seconds.
Okay. We have to plug our nose too.
30 seconds of silence on the podcast. It's so annoying.
So we can skip it when we edit it, and then we'll just see who held it the longest. Yeah.
Okay. Let me put my timer on.
Okay. All right.
Are we plugging
nose has to be plugged, and we have to be able to see each other's mouths. So like, over the top, over the top.
This is better.
But I mean, you're still pinching it, but just over the top. All right.
Okay. Wait, let me. Wait, I have the timer. Stopwatch. Okay, ready?
Yep.
Sorry. 8 seconds.
8 seconds. Okay. Well, then it was that.
Oh my God.
I realized that when we started that, I didn't even take a deep breath in, so I was hoping Christine would mess that up. But okay.
I did.
Anyways,
okay.
that answers
Steven
that.
Can hold his breath.
Yeah, great.
Awesome. All right, what's next?
So, all right, we're gonna get deep here.
Oh, jeez.
Let's see. What would you? Oh, we got some good questions. That's right.
Okay.
What would you tell 12-year-old you, and what did you think your life would be like back then?
Aw, 12-year-old me was so sad. I was bullied a lot in 6th grade, and I had this one kid that would just say that I was fat all the time.
Okay.
And I wasn't, and I feel like that had like some severe damage to me. So
his mom was probably fat.
Actually, she was.
Oh, really?
Because then we ended up being good friends.
Okay.
So I was about to shout him out, but no, I'm not going to because you said that. But yeah, and now he's ugly and has no hair, so haha, karma's a bitch. But I would say that like your life right now, like how even up to being like a teenager or whatever, is just the start of you finding who you are. Like I just felt this like severe pressure of figuring it out and like figuring out who I was, and I was just really sad. So
good.
Why was I too close?
Yeah, you're good.
Okay, yeah. So anyway, I think maybe just to like, if I would have gotten like a message or a letter from my future self, I would have just said like, you're doing great. Don't feel like you're like, I don't know, like you're not like, I would just want to encourage her because I felt like so insecure. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like that.
So depressing. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
but
that's
I would
okay.
just try
It's
to
good.
be like, hey, it's okay. You're 12 years old.
12 years old. That's.
You're not fat.
Yeah.
That kid just likes you a lot.
Yeah. People in elementary school are mean. What can you say?
Yeah. He was in 6th grade. So what is that?
Middle school. People in school are mean.
Middle
basically.
school, so mean. Yeah. What about you? What would you tell 12-year-old Steven?
12-year-old me. I mean, I really like enjoyed my childhood. Like I went through a lot of shit in my childhood. I went through a lot of shit in my childhood, but like I enjoyed most of my childhood. I would have just said like maybe be more persistent with my parents about letting me like go out and be social. And then also too like just keep on like being you and like don't care about what other people think, because I remember I went through like a whole like goth phase back in like elementary school, like 5th grade and 6th grade, and then like 7th grade I had like gauges in both of my ears. I had my eyebrow pierced. I had snake bites. I had hair down to my shoulders. I've got pictures somewhere. But
snake bites were like key in 2007.
But like I was just so concerned about what other people thought, and it's like every year I was doing something new to like care about what people thought about me. So like, and the perspective that I have now, I'm so me. I just don't give a fuck what anyone thinks. And I would tell my younger self to just keep on being yourself and just do that. Yeah. Just keep on being yourself. That's it.
That's a good answer.
Yeah.
I feel like I still need that advice to this day.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is a good one. How do you stay fit but for lazy people?
Track your calories. That's it.
Yeah.
That's literally it.
That's your advice?
Like between me and everyone in my circle I know that is fit or relatively fit, they use MyFitnessPal. They track their calories, and they have a certain amount of calories they want to stay at or under every day. And as long as you hit those calories, it doesn't matter. Like, of course, like you have like your protein, your carbs, and your fat. But if you stay within those ranges of what your goal is each day, which you can go online and you can find calculators for, as long as you stay within that, you're fine. But like if you run 6 miles a day, but then you go home and you eat 6,000 calories, guess what? You're not going to lose weight. Yeah. So just track your calories.
That makes sense.
And you'll be fine. That's it.
Yeah.
Track your calories, work out a little bit, or just track your calories and you'll still lose weight.
Wow. I feel like that's good advice because I didn't know how to answer that.
Yeah.
Let's see. Do you have one?
Yeah. Okay. So, do you believe in prisons? Why or why not? And for certain crimes or not for certain crimes?
Do I believe in prisons?
This is from one of your friends.
One of my friends. Ooh. Okay, now it's interesting.
Okay. There you go.
Do I believe in prisons? Is prison different than jail?
It's basically the same thing.
But prison seems like more long term.
Let's just say you're behind bars.
Okay. Well, I think there needs to be a punishment for some bad things.
Okay.
This makes it so different than she asked because, like, she is a fucking shark.
Do you want to shout her out? Because, I mean, I think...
Sure, I feel like she wouldn't care.
Yeah.
So, my friend Heather, she is a lawyer, and she is, like, criminal defense. So, I'm, like, I'm intimidated to ask this because this is her job, and she's, like, a bad bitch. So, Thanks, Heather, for asking a question, because we talked about it last night. She's like, I'll think of something. This is really good. I feel like there needs to be a punishment for certain things, things, right?
Okay.
But for a lot of things that people are in prison for currently, I think there needs to be an evaluation after a certain point. Because, like, life moves on from, say, you're in jail from 10 years ago on a drug charge for marijuana. Like, I don't believe that you should be in fucking jail. Like,
Correct.
Now that it's legal and you're still serving a sentence of 20 years for a drug charge, like, there needs to be an evaluation of all these different criminal charges after a certain amount of time. Like, say you've served like 2 to 5 years, you should be able to like have a rehearing or whatever, especially if the laws have changed, which they have. So does that make sense?
Yeah, of course.
How would you answer that?
So I think anyone that's, I think any psychedelics, and I think any regular like drug like marijuana, I don't think you should ever be jailed for that. I think if anything, if anything, not even I don't think you should, but I think if anything, I think you should just be fined for having possession of like marijuana or mushrooms. It fucking grows out of the ground.
Yeah, I agree. Like,
so, but if you've got
insane.
like cocaine or like heroin or something like that, that might be something to like rethink about, but maybe not as serious as you think it is, because there's other places that will decriminalize these drugs to help people get treatment and like seek help in like the problems that they're having using these drugs. But if you're a violent offender or you're someone like a pedophile, like a majority of our high ups and people in this world, then yeah, you should either go to jail or you should suffer the death sentence, like straight off the bat.
Yeah, I agree with like the death penalty, especially
if
with
anyone
like,
has
molesters.
seen Ghislaine Maxwell, that's gonna be interesting. But yeah,
we'll talk about that on season 2.
Yeah, I got a few people we can talk to that about. So I think violent offenders and I think rapists and I think pedophiles should definitely suffer like a really severe punishment.
Yeah.
Back in the day, it used to be like the electric chair. I know some people have talked about like public execution, which how it was back in the day.
Yeah.
I don't know if I agree with that, but depending
we used to
on
burn witches, so we might as well burn fucking rapists. Like,
depending on the situation and depending on the person, I really want to name a name right now. She's a really high up politician, and she is on the blue side, and I really want to name her name, but public executions just sound like such a great idea.
That's never gonna happen.
Never gonna happen, but you know, that's my thought.
She probably deserves it though.
So I think jail is good to like put some people's head in the right place.
Yeah.
But some people just don't give a fuck that they end up in jail. Their whole life is just jail. So that I think that's enough to answer that question.
That's a good question. I feel like we should actually do. When Heather comes on, we're gonna.
Okay, we'll talk to her about that.
Talk to
from
her about
from
this.
a legal perspective, we'll definitely talk
that would
about
be such a good episode because that's everything we don't know about.
Yeah. Should
What's next?
All right, your question. After this amazing wine by Gary Vaynerchuk and his company Empathy, it's so good.
We're trying to get a few bottles for season 2, if you can't tell.
Yeah.
It's so nice.
It's such a good wine. It's like I can't even. It's so good. I drink so much wine, and you drink so much wine, and this is some of the best wine I've had under $50.
Yeah, because it's really smooth. Like sometimes you drink it, and then like the aftertaste is like, whoa. You know what I mean? Like it's so bitter, but this isn't like
good.
that.
It's like it's dessert. I just want to keep drinking it. It's good.
I know.
Okay.
We're gonna be really good at our advertisements for them.
Yeah. Christina's question now.
My question. Okay. So are we doing something fun or?
Let's do something fun. We just talked about prison, so maybe something fun.
Something more fun.
Yeah.
Okay. So in all caps, but have you fucked? Question mark.
I feel like this is the most common question we've been asked.
Because we've never addressed it.
Yeah. And I think that a lot of people, it makes sense that people would think that we fucked.
Yeah.
But like.
Because we talk about sex a lot.
The amount of problems that would come up from us fucking would just be exponential. But I'll be straight up honest. Like, I mean, there's definitely sexual tension. Like we've wanted to fuck
we're two very attractive people.
Yeah. And we talk about each other's sex lives very openly all the time.
Yeah.
So another question that we got is this goes along with that, but it's basically if you both were to hook up, who would be the first to come? And my answer to that...
Well, can I answer first?
Yeah. Okay, go for it.
Because I feel like you would, because I am just like a difficult human in the bedroom.
100%. And
because it's just like the guy usually does first anyway, but
yeah.
I don't know. I'm like a puzzle. Like I kind of make it difficult on purpose. And
yeah.
I'm just very complicated.
And I can see that too, because like making girls come is not like an issue for me. It never has been. But I feel like if we were to hook up, it would be an issue because you're so dominant and I'm so dominant. And you've just told me so many stories about how guys can't make you come.
Yeah, so I'd probably like hold it against you.
Yeah, and that would really fuck me up in the head. So as much as I would love to fuck Kristina,
it's not gonna happen.
I just think it'd be a better idea if we didn't have sex. But the tension,
I'm glad that we've cleared
the tension
this up.
Keeps things very interesting.
Yeah. I feel like there is sexual tension sometimes, but at the same time, like I feel like what we're building in like a podcast like platform, like, you know, business and pleasure kind of thing. Like I feel like I wouldn't want to ruin what we're doing here because of an experience. So
just to have
I
sex.
feel like all our friends think we fucked them.
Yeah, literally everyone. Like everyone's like, so you and Kristina fuck? Nope.
And it's really complicated because of our friend group.
I mean, we would, but it's just...
I don't know. I just don't think like... It is what it is. Maybe it'll happen in the future, but... Like,
maybe one day. But for now, we have a podcast to build, and we've got a lot of things we got to work on.
I feel like we talk about... It's weird because, like, because we know so much about each other, like, our sexual, like... I don't know. It would almost be, like, strange at this point.
And I really don't like... I like fucking, but... I don't enjoy fucking girls. I can't make cum as much as I enjoy making girls cum. And that's like 90% of girls that I fuck, I probably make cum. Maybe 95%. But like, it's just, I don't know.
So confident in that. You know, maybe earlier in the season you wouldn't have been as confident.
Yeah. But now I'm wearing my Joe Exotic shirt and...
Please tell the story. His brother messaged him.
My brother messages me on Instagram and he's like, you look like Joe Exotic. And I was like, well... Joe Exotic gets plenty of attention from women, apparently, based off this shirt. So,
obviously.
Yeah.
That's so funny. What a great question.
Yeah,
thanks, guys.
Of course.
So I have another very great question. Does the girl one like ladies asking for a friend?
Wait, what?
Does the girl one, meaning me, like ladies asking for a friend?
Does the girl one?
Yeah, like the girl. As in you and me.
What do you mean? Like... Does
the girl one like ladies asking
does Kristina like ladies? Okay.
I mean...
I don't know. Do you, Kristina?
I feel like I do. Like, I have never been in a relationship with a female, but, like, I've hooked up with them before, and it's, like, they instantly, like, get my attention as well. So it's, like, if there's, like, a very attractive... woman, that's not different than seeing like a hot guy to me. So I feel like I'm attracted to women, but like I don't know how much I would like entertain that as a relationship. I think after a pivotal point of being with men and dealing with their bullshit for so long, I'll probably be in a relationship with a girl.
I really think you should one day.
Yeah, I think you've talked to me about this. You think I would benefit from being with a girl.
Like, if there's anything I've learned since moving to St. Pete, it's that, like, girls like girls. Like, girls, females are just beautiful. Whether you're straight or you're lesbian or you're bi, whatever it is, like a majority of the girls I've hooked up with in the past year are down to get down with another female. Females,
because you explore like a different version of yourself.
Yeah, and like as a guy, like just the idea of hooking up with another guy, I'm just like, it just doesn't turn me on. But like everyone is attracted. I mean, I can't say everyone. A majority of people are just attracted to females. So like most girls are either bisexual or bi-curious. So no shame. Like
most girls, you can't say most girls because there's going to be people that are like, no, I'm straight. I only like guys. But like
the 10%. So most girls.
Most girls are bisexual.
Most girls are bisexual.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, it's on the table.
Yeah.
I've got like the idea.
Six girls that are like, yeah, if you can find the right person, I'm down for a threesome. So you know, I think most girls.
Most girls are interested in it.
Yeah, in St. Pete though. In St. Pete, if you go to like somewhere else, maybe it's a different story. But St. Pete for sure.
It might be a little more conservative other places, but St. Pete is such like a pride town that I think most people that live here are like really open to it. Yeah. So it's good. I've had 2 threesomes and it's like, it's great.
Yeah. I've had one. It's great. I've got a few more that might be coming soon, hopefully.
That's what Steven said. He wanted his birthday present to be.
I wanted to force him for my birthday, but I was too drunk the day of my actual birthday, so it just
just didn't happen. Yeah. Could have happened.
Could have happened.
Your cards right, but you didn't.
I didn't try.
Okay, so let's see. Astrology for beginners. How did you start?
So you and then another girl I was talking to were telling me a lot about astrology. And I was already like, I had a few people plant the seed in my mind, but you guys kind of watered the seed. And I think the biggest way for people to get started, in the most simple way I can possibly answer this, is that if you look into your if you look into your sun sign first, it's your basic ego. If you look into your rising sign, it's the way you come across to other people and the way you express yourself. And then if you look into your moon sign, it's the way your feelings are expressed. So when I'm talking to a girl on a dating app, I'm like, okay, what's your sun, moon, and rising? And then what's your Mars and Venus? Yeah. So your Mars and Venus would be the way you perceive your relationships. And then I think your Venus specifically would be the way you perceive yourself sexually. So if you get a full breakdown.
They go back and forth. Like Venus is like love. Mars is like Mars is
that's
the
what
opposite.
Okay swap.
Yeah, so
okay,
same thing, right?
So Mars is sex, Venus would be relationships. So the CoStar app.
Wow, he's hiccuping a lot.
Hiccuping
it's all
a
that
lot.
Tequila.
So the CoStar app is good to get you started, but I would honestly, if you've been considering anything about astrology, just download Time Passages.
Yeah, that's
the girl that I look up to and like has given me readings before. I've like paid her for readings, and she's been in astrology for a long time. She uses Time Passages. Go on Time Passages, look up your information, and then just find out like all of your birth chart information and just go with Time Passages. Just start learning one thing after another, but sun, moon, rising, and then Mars and Venus, and then after that just keep researching past that.
Yeah, because like sun, moon, rising is your personal like who you are as a personality, and like your Mars and Venus are like usually 6 weeks to 8 week transits, so you will only have the same Venus and Mars with people within like 2 or 3 months of being born at the same time as you were. So those are like the 5 personal planets, and then it starts to be like a generational like thing. So I don't know, I would say like ask people that are into astrology, like, hey, how do I get my chart read? Because there are a lot of people that are like false about it. Like, don't pay people like $100 for getting your chart read if they aren't actually like significant astrologers. And I've done that a few times. Like, I had my chart read like 2 or 3 times before I got it actually read by someone that was like significant, and I knew that like it was worth the money. So I've had a lot of friends say that I should read charts, which is kind of cool.
You should.
That'd be cool. Yeah, like even for like $20.
You taught me so much. Other than the girl that I was fucking for 7 months, like you taught me probably like 40 to 50% of what I know about astrology.
So cool.
So
yeah, and I have like a bunch of books to recommend. There's this astrology book that I actually lent Steven. It's called Astrology 101, and I got it from Urban Outfitters, and that sounds like ridiculous, but it's so good. It explains each moon, sun, rising, Venus, and Mars. So once, like Steven said, like once you study those particular planets, then you have a good idea of astrology, because those are the personal planets. Yeah. So yeah, do you have a question?
Yes. So my next question would be, let me go on to my personal Instagram. Okay, so all right, what was the first time you discovered your sexuality? And did you experiment with that feeling, or did you ignore it? This is from one of my best friends ever.
Okay. in high school, I was like hooking up with this guy, and there was like another couple hooking up like right next to us. It was like the closest to a foursome I've ever had. Yeah, and it was still very like experimental for me because I was like still a virgin at that point. And I just remember feeling like intrigued because like they both males like initiated that like we just hook up, and like I made out with this girl or whatever. I think that was like the first time I like really experimented with like a woman. And yeah, like other than that, like I was like, actually I like this. Like I knew I liked it, but like after a while it was just like, oh, we didn't feel like that was, it was almost more entertainment for the men. Does that make sense? Yeah. So it was kind of like whatever, like it was like the first time for me to like feel that way, but I knew instantly that I liked it. So
yeah, interesting. Okay.
Yeah, it was just fun, you know, making out, whatever, whatever. So
yeah,
it was good. But at that, like, I will always remember that being like one of the first instances where I was like, I actually do like this. I don't feel like I'm being forced to do this in a sense. So
interesting.
This is hard to talk about.
Yeah,
because I feel like this is a huge
with enough alcohol though.
Yeah, but then we're gonna like post this and I'm gonna be like, now everybody knows.
Yeah.
These are like my deep dark secrets.
Yeah.
So, what about you?
Okay, so basically my entire childhood. Okay.
The tequila's kicking in.
Yeah, the
folks.
tequila's kicking in, the wine's kicking in, everything's kicking in. Okay. Basically my entire childhood was sexualized unintentionally. That's all I can say as of this moment. There's a lot of things that happened when I was at a like extremely young age that like my parents had no control over, and I really was like shaped into a certain person, and it made me who I am today sexually. So the amount of things that happened and what led me up to who I am today, I was basically exposed to things that I probably shouldn't have been exposed to until like 10 to 15 years later.
Yeah,
so
a lot.
I spent probably like 70 to 80% of my childhood growing up around something that was sexually related. So,
so that was
think
like
of the best
pretty
way to word
normal
this.
for you.
Everything was normal, and like I'm not saying this in a bad way. Like I was just exposed a lot when I was at a young age.
Yeah.
So, and again, not my parents, but like I was exposed to things, and like being at such a young age and being exposed to these things, like these things were normal for me. So I was always like a sexual person. And then as I grew up in my teens, like some things like just carried that on and like basically pissed on the fire. It's the best way to explain it. Just pissed on the fire, made the fire even bigger. And then nowadays, like I'm at the point of where I'm starting to learn how to control like my sexuality. I'm starting to learn how to control my sexual energy, and I'm starting to understand that that's like an important thing. But I've had a lot of really sexual experiences from a young age that I had no control over, and it's made me who I am. So I didn't necessarily ignore anything because at that age I thought everything was like normal and totally fine. And to this day, like even after going through all the personal development and all of like the therapy talks I've had and like all the stuff like that, I still don't necessarily see a problem with my childhood the same way that other people would see a problem with it. So I'm not mad about any of it, and I'm happy with who I am as a person now. But it's just, it was a part of my childhood, and I just have to accept it.
Yeah, because I was just thinking, like, people that grew up in a religious, like, atmosphere, are they really better off than you were? Because, like, for a long time, like, I feel like even from, like, a parental aspect, I was denied feeling okay sexually. Like, there was things that, as the female figure in my life, didn't ever tell me about how I should feel sexually. Like that was something they suppressed. So I took that on for a really long time. Okay. So like for you to be exposed to things at a young age, it's like, were you better off? Probably, because you felt that was okay. Because like people that grew up in a place where they felt like that wasn't okay, especially women. Women suppress their sexuality so much that it's like it takes more time to grow out of feeling uncomfortable. Does that make sense? So like for you, not saying that it wasn't any more traumatic, because I know it was a traumatic experience, and like what you had to grow from as a kid dealing with that type of stuff is like fucked up. But at the same time, it's like you were able to feel more comfortable faster with yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's like, okay, so here's my biggest problem. Like, we are trained from such a young age to think that like our sexuality is a problem. And we're trained to think that like, okay, you can't like go out in public without wearing a bra, or you can't go to like a nudist beach, or you can't do any of these things. We're born naked. We're born as sexual human beings. Like, there's so much evidence that shows that from a very young age, like, we're sexual beings. And like, to all of a sudden just come up in a world where we're trained that like sexuality is a problem,
it's a shame.
And it's
shameful.
a shame, and you should feel bad, and you should feel guilty, and you're going to go to hell, and you're going to do all these things if like you're a sexual person. That's just a problem. Like, that's not natural.
A societal
like
problem,
if you go back to like the days of when like tribes were a thing, and like people were like together in like a community back in like when we used to have like huts or like whatever it was, none of that shit was a problem. Like, we were totally fine with just like, if it feels good, it feels good. So I don't know how else to explain it, but it's just like today, based off of today's societal rules, that's what we've agreed is like wrong and right. Right and wrong, whatever it is. So it's coming out though. Like, we're moving out of that, and Steven and I have talked about doing almost like a book series or book summary podcast on this book called Sex at Dawn. And if anyone's ever heard of it, it gets to the root of where sexuality started. Like, I don't know, I feel like we should pursue this in season 2 for sure. Yeah,
but, like,
absolutely.
They talk about like this sense of before people started owning farmland, and where men started feeling like, in a sense, that their wife or the person that they were intimate with was their own. Like, women used to be a tribe, as you were saying. Like, I don't know. So it's like there was a pivotal shift of human, like, how people used to like interact with each other, because it used to be like a tribe where like everyone would kind of be like sexually involved until men started owning land, and they were like, wait, like, I didn't want.
And then marriage came along.
Right. And that's where marriage.
Literally, marriage was the entire, like,
pivotal
it was the
point.
nail in the coffin, the pivotal point, the stake in the ground. That was when everything changed. When marriage became a thing. Yeah. And people were like, one person is my person. Right. That was the problem. And it was with only everything.
Because there was land involved, because men didn't want to have children raised, they wanted to know who their children were at that sense. When it was like a tribal atmosphere, everybody raised everyone's kids. It was like a communal, like, type of atmosphere. So anyway, this book talks about it. We're going to get into it. Yeah. But this was such a good question.
Yeah, that was great. Yeah. We had a lot to talk about.
Pulp or collectively Kill Bill?
Pulp Fiction?
Pulp Fiction or Kill Bill?
I never got into Kill Bill, but Pulp Fiction, I fuck with that all day long. It was really funny. I showed one of my best friends Pulp Fiction.
You have to watch it I
watched
year.
Pulp Fiction, and then I was like, bro, this is one of the best movies I've ever seen. He watches Pulp Fiction. He's probably listening to this because he listens to a lot of our podcasts. But he watched it, and he was just like, I don't get it. When it was done, and I was like, well, like,
it's okay.
It's a fucking great movie. Like, it's a phenomenal movie. So, I don't know. You just have to watch Pulp Fiction. I think Pulp Fiction is just where it's at. Pulp Fiction is such a good movie if you can sit down and actually process your emotions and feelings towards it.
Yeah. Everyone watch Pulp Fiction. Kill Bill is good.
I haven't seen Kill Bill.
Any of them?
None of them.
Damn.
My parents watched them, but I haven't seen them.
I mean, it's brutal. I maybe should watch them again, because I only watched them for like, I think I watched the first one in like 7th grade, but other than that, I haven't watched it. Do you have a question?
Yes. What is the craziest thing you've ever done in the name of love? Kristina.
In the name. I'm going to start singing soon. We should end this. In the name of love. I don't know. Probably traveling. Honestly, that shit will like mess you up. If you're in a long distance relationship, you will go beyond
to the end of the world
to see that person. That was like the stupidest shit I've ever done. But yeah, I've been in 2 like long distance relationships, and either one I'm like, nah.
I did one, and I will never do one again for the rest of my life.
Yeah, it's just hard because if you find like passion with that person, even when you say you're not going to, it's just rough.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that later. But
but if you can't fucking fuck all the time, it's like
a problem. Not being able to fuck is like intriguing.
Yeah, but then when you live in a place like St. Pete and you've
Steven's on his new bicycle and fuck whoever he wants.
And you've got hot people all around you. It's just like, how can you not just fuck everyone else?
You definitely can't do a long distance relationship.
No, I did it once and I will never do it again for as long as I live.
I don't know.
Ever.
I guess that's the craziest thing.
Yeah.
How about you?
Oh, God. The craziest thing I've ever done for love. Probably staying. So it was hard because like
Were you engaged?
No, I was about to be engaged.
Yeah. Okay.
I stayed.
That's crazy.
I stayed with someone that I knew would not match with me on a religious standpoint, and I stayed with someone that I knew would not match with me on a moral standpoint. So we had an amazing relationship, but I realized that I was compromising over 50% of myself to like make this relationship work.
Damn.
And it was like it was a 2.5-year relationship, and 5 years prior we dated for 2.5 years. So it was good. We knew each other, but when everything evolved and escalated, and it got to the point of like, okay, we're like thinking about getting serious, I was like, there's no fucking way. Like, there's no fucking emphasis on fucking way that we can ever make this work. Like, you want something completely different than what I want, and I want something completely different. And, like, there was a problem with me going to music festivals because she didn't want me to look at other girls wearing, like, fucking festival outfits. And I was like, well, I don't know what to tell you, but I'm down for some fucking orgies in an orgy tent at a festival.
So you were suppressing parts of yourself.
I was suppressing 90% of myself in that relationship. So I guess like suppressing who I was and being with someone who was so far against everything that I was about, but I didn't realize it at the time. So that's why it lasted so long. Yeah. But suppressing who I was and being a different person was probably the craziest thing I've ever done for love. So, ending that relationship, best decision I've ever made in my life. It was.
No offense to that person.
No offense to that, but if you're listening, like, love you. You're a great person. You're an amazing person. I hope life works out for you.
You grew with them at some point, but then you start. That's the thing. Like growing with people, you don't realize where it's going to go. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Okay, so I got a question.
I have an answer.
Let me find it. Where is it? When I listen to your podcast, why is my pee-pee hard? Do you have an answer for that?
I'm gonna assume it's because you're listening to two sexy ass motherfuckers talking about sex all the time.
That's a good one. Okay, great. Good answer. Okay, this is another one from the same person. This person is like a great person in my life.
Okay.
What a human. She asked multiple questions.
Okay. Bring it on.
When will there be merch, and what kind of sex toys will it be?
What kind of sex toys will it be?
I feel like we need to like create honestly, product is the way to go if we want to make money.
So we have shirts are the first pinning option.
Why would we make shirts? They have to be something funny.
I have a deal with someone with shirts.
Okay, well, we're not going to put the air fresheners on it. We got to make something clever.
We'll come up with something clever. We got a lot of time to figure that out. But I think sex toys as a whole.
We should make one.
If we could make
if we could make an iconic sex toy, we're set.
Air fresheners, magic wands. I'll tell you what. That would be something
else. A magic wand for...
The best sexual investment I've ever... The best financial investment...
Okay, why are we talking about this publicly? Someone's going to go about and make it.
The best sexual investment I've ever made was a magic wand.
Really?
It was $100.
That's the massager that you talk about?
And it was the best investment I've ever made sexually, and I never regret that purchase, and it proves itself to me every single time.
We'll make an air version of that, where it's just... air flowing out.
The air wand.
Because there's the womanizer. Have you experimented with that?
I've seen the womanizer before, yeah.
It's just like air that like blows.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So maybe we'll make our own sex toy. Thank you.
We get a lot of time to figure out season
Thank you,
2.
best friend, for approaching that.
Yeah.
We might make a lot more money because of it. Okay, what's your question?
All right, my last question would be... what has been your biggest achievement so far? And a part of that, if you passed away tomorrow, would you be satisfied with the achievements that you've made?
Those are deep.
Super deep.
If I was to pass away tomorrow.
Shout out Martin. You the fucking man.
Oh, that's so cool that he asked that. Because it's like a very serious question, because we aren't promised any time. You know what I mean? So I feel like that is a very difficult question, because how would you answer that? Would you be satisfied?
Okay, so I mean, considering I just got a new job, and that new job,
if you were to die tomorrow, would you be satisfied?
Tomorrow, no. In a few months from now, yes. Mm-hmm. Because I wrote myself...
Well, that wasn't the question.
I wrote myself a letter when I was 18.
Yeah.
And I was just talking to this girl I'd been talking to last night.
Mm-hmm.
But I wrote myself a letter when I was 18. And this letter was basically saying that by the time I'm 25, which I already turned 25. Like,
he's old now.
Less than a month ago. I've accomplished this, and this. And a majority of what I said I was going to accomplish, I'm accomplishing by taking this job.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel incredibly accomplished to the point of where, okay, I tried my hardest and I put out the work and I just feel good about it. But in the grand scheme of things, if I was like 50 or 60 years old, absolutely not. Not even remotely
it's
close
like
to
an
being
age thing.
Accomplished. Yeah.
I feel like the same way. Like there's certain things I have goals of right now that if I was to die tomorrow, I'd be like, I didn't do it all, you know? And I think that most people probably feel that way. Like if they were to die tomorrow, there's things that they didn't complete or feel like satisfied with. So, what was the first part of that?
If you were, or actually, what is the biggest achievement so far in life?
Ooh.
I don't know. What's the biggest thing that you've just been able to call your mom and just be like, yo, Mom, guess what? I accomplished this.
I don't know if there was like one event, but I feel like over a majority of time, the fact that I work for myself is pretty much that. Huge. Yeah. Being my only source of income or whatever, that I don't have to rely on like one person or like a business to make my income or whatever, especially with like what's going on right now. Like to be your own boss is very important because like there's so many jobs just going away because of like COVID and things like that. The fact that I'm in control of my own work is huge. So I feel like being my own boss, like owning my own company and just like making the most income for myself through my own talents is huge. So I think I minimize that a lot. Like I pretend that that's not something I'm doing, but it really is. I've been doing it for a long time, and I'm just like, no, that's real. I've made most of my money just working for myself. So
and you've killed it. You've done a great job.
Thank you. Yeah, I feel like it's growing too. Like the more I invest and like realize my power, that's real, you know? So it's been like, it's cool to like realize that this year with everything being so dysfunctional. I think it's made me realize how functionable I can be in this time. So I have more flexibility and power than I would have been if I was in a corporate like company. So what about you? What's your biggest achievement?
I think my biggest accomplishment so far would be like the amount of personal development I've invested in myself since the time I was 18. Like last year I read 26 books.
That's cool.
And this year I've read like maybe 3 or 4, which like is not as much as last year, but last year was enough to kind of at least point my mind in the right direction. So like looking back to the time that I was 18 and I'm 25 now, the amount of time I've spent working on just like shaping myself, shaping my mind, and shaping my mindset has made such a significant impact on me compared to like my other friends and the people that are around me. So I honestly, that's my biggest accomplishment, just the time that I've invested in
yourself,
figuring out myself.
Yeah.
So
that's really cool. That's like probably the most empowering thing you can do. You know what I mean? Like your biggest achievement is to be understanding your own self-worth. So
yeah, totally agreed.
Good for you.
Yeah.
This was a good episode. I feel like we went so long, but there was like a lot of dynamic questions.
Yeah.
That
season
like,
finale, we had to.
Yeah.
We got plenty of questions.
Yeah.
So. But yes.
Wow, great, guys.
8 weeks. We're going to plan for September 3rd as season 2. We're going to go into potentially a new studio space. Maybe. We're going to potentially get some new microphones, maybe. We're going to potentially get some new logos. We're going to get some new logos. And we're going to figure out, like, what's the best way to launch season 2 as something that's appealing to everyone that's listening. And just make
It's going to be more of a universal platform instead of just us talking every week. So it's going to be good.
Yeah, for sure.
Yay,
I'm
so
excited. But yeah, thank you guys so much for listening. If you've listened this far, we appreciate it. And that's... Season 1, that's a wrap.
Adios.